Welcome back to Shop Dog Fabrication. So today is something a little different than my normal shoots, right? Which is a lot of car stuff, fixing vehicles, racing, all that. I've been very fortunate to work for a company that allows me to work from home since all this craziness has begun, and I'll be working from home for probably quite a while longer yet. So you can see my home office here. This is an IKEA desk. And actually, I stole this from my wife just recently. For the longest time, I had one of those 6-foot-long plastic garage sale desks. So that's what I've been using, and I just got this IKEA desk. But I sit all day on calls, working from my laptop screen here and my other monitor screen, and honestly, sitting on my butt all day sucks. So I broke down and I bought this, right? Well, this beat up box here is actually a VIVO desk from Amazon. It will be a standing, desk, motorized, so I can raise it and lower it, and go from, and get rid of my current just sit only desk, where I just sit all day. The other cool thing that I picked up today was this. So for me, I have a local Menards. Menards, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's like a Home Depot or Lowe's. So they had this desktop on clearance. You can see it's got a cool rusty patina type look to it. I got it for $35. Normally it is like $230 some. So I was going to put like a butcher block top on it, something kind of neat like that to have a nice solid top. But I came across this, and it's a little shorter than I wanted. It's 51 inches, in width, 34 inches depth, where the IKEA desk that I have now is 59 inches, wide and 30 inches depth. So it'll be a little deeper, but a little shorter, on the side. But I think the patina and everything is going to be really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the steps of putting together this VIVO desk, and then mounting this cool top to it, and kind of see how this thing works. So basically that's what this is about. I'm gonna be able to stand up, not just sit on my butt all day and do that. So anyway, something a little different from me. Don't worry, we'll getting back to the cool car stuff soon enough, but for those people that are doing a lot of work from home stuff, never assembled a desk, I wanted to kind of do a little video maybe to help them out. And they give some like top options that I've seen online. Like I said, butcher block tops. My local Menards also had a 1-inch thick by 6 foot wide by 30-inch deep pine board that was all glued together. That was actually not too bad either. That was $50 for that you could have stained and finished the top of. But I found this and I was like, this is really cool. So I wanted this nice kind of rustic, rusty kind of tabletop, which suits a little bit more my personality. So anyway, let me kind of get set up and we'll start figuring out what I got to do to put this thing together. Say hello, Shop Dog. Can you say hi, Cody? Yeah, hi, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, hi, buddy. Went through and checked all the parts list here, and we have all the parts, so that's a good thing, and none of them look to have been damaged. So I've got them laid out here, and now we'll kind of walk through the steps and see what I got to do to put this thing together. All right, so the first thing the instructions say to do is to take one of the legs. You can see here the big long leg, right? So I've got it sitting upward. This is the one without the motor now. I've got also this bracket, so this will sit on here like so, and you'll notice I have the tab, in this case, facing downward. We're going to use the long screws here, 2 of them for this one and 2 of them for the other one. So we will take them, slip them in here like so, make sure I get that bracket flush. Keep the screws through both holes, and then we'll start them by hand. There we go. And I'll start the other one. All right. Then we'll use our Allen wrench here, and then I've gotten them both started, and we'll tighten them up. All right, so that's the first part. You can see here again, all right, bracket down below, set this on top. You can see I've got this piece facing this word, same direction as this. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do, get the motor piece, the main motor leg now, do the same thing. So you can see now I've got the motor here. This is the motor leg. Again, the same bracket as we had, just opposite direction. So again, the tab I've got facing down in this case. You can see I've got the motor facing down. Here's that bracket. So you can see here, right, screw end. So tab goes to the top. And my two long screws again, I'll just kind of hand start them. Get them through both holes of the bracket, and then they'll thread into the leg here. And then we'll tighten them up. All right, on to the next step. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to install these. These are the pieces that you'll put at the top here. This is still the motorized one, motorized leg that I have. You can see I've got this piece that we attached facing downward, and you notice there's two screws holes here. You'll see there's threaded nuts on the back side. So what we're doing is, this is the tabletop bracket that we're going to install. You notice it's got like an angled look to it here, right? That's going to face downward. Flat part faces up. So you're going to have 4 of these little screws. You'll notice they've got the flat top to them with the Allen head. Again, we'll use a different Allen wrench though this time to fit it. So again, I'm going to start these by hand. Install these on both legs that we just installed that first part to. All right, so we got the first one started. And I don't tighten, I leave them both loose until I get them both mostly in, and then I'll tighten them up. That way they'll seat right. All right, so now we got one leg, a couple of parts attached. Let me grab the other leg. Okay, here's the other leg. Again, we attach that bracket to. Again, you'll see the 2 nuts there that will thread into. Again, here's the angled part that will face downward. I'll start the 2 screws here by hand. All right, there's the second leg. So again, we've attached this first bracket and now this second mounting bracket. So let's see what's next in the directions to do. Looks like we get to install the feet now. So you can set the bracket on the floor because now basically you have a T, and there's the bottom of the leg. And you'll notice 4 holes. There'll be 4 holes on the bottom of this, or there should be 4 threaded holes here as well that will screw the screws in for the bottom of the legs here. So these are also an Allen head, but you notice these have a round head to them. All right, so we'll use these round headed ones and this Allen wrench that they provided with your kit to screw these in. So again, I'll thread all of these in by hand. I won't tighten them all until I get them at least all started. So I'll just get them started and then I'll tighten them up. First leg, 3 brackets installed. Let me set it aside. I get the other one over here. And the same thing. Is install the piece that will go between 2 of the legs that we installed. If that makes sense. So let me kind of set this up here. So you can see here, I've got, the first leg set up, right? And you'll notice, right, the tab, see the tab. We've got the second leg with the motor set up here. This is the base, what'll sit on the floor, right? This is the base that'll sit on the floor. You can see that's the piece that you'll mount your top to. Again, the piece you'll mount your top to, and you can see these little brackets here. You can also use to mount these two. So what we're gonna do now is this bracket here, right? We need to slide in both of these ends, okay? And then we'll put screws in here, but you do not tighten these screws up. Not yet, not until you determine what your width is going to be for your tabletop. So if you're going to have, let's say, a 48-inch wide only tabletop, you'll slide them together, mount your tabletop up, and then you can set the screws on once you've tightened, mounted this all up to your top. Then you can tighten those up. So we'll put them in place, but we won't permanently tighten them until after we've mounted your top, right? And this is my top. So let me go ahead and slide this in both ends, and I'll set the same screws that we used for the base here as ones we'll use to put in here and here. So let me go ahead and set that up. See, I've basically slid this bar in here now. So now I'm just going to basically take these same little screws, with the Allen head, and screw them in to this, but I'm not going to tighten them, not just yet. Like I said, don't tighten them up until you permanently mount your desktop. But screw them in far enough so that they don't fall out either, so you don't lose them. All right, so now I can still slide, my legs in and out if I need to. So now we'll go on to the next step. All right, if you've noticed, I flipped this up so it's sitting, I'll call it upright, right? I've got the feet now on the floor. Here's where we're gonna mount our tabletop, okay? Up here, you can see there's the motor. So what we need to do now is install the bar that's gonna drive both legs and raise and lower the desk, all right? So you can see this just simply, try and do this one-handed, engages there. Now you may need to loosen this little collar up, okay, like so. And then, whoops, slip it in, like so, all right? come back over here, slip that in. Oops. Again, trying to do this one-handed. There we go. So slip that in all the way there. Now I'm going to kind of semi-tighten this. I don't want to permanently tighten this yet. Again, this is one of those things that we'll leave this loose, as well as those screws, right, that we left loose here and here, here and here, until we mount our top. And once I mount the top, permanently, then I'll go back and tighten these screws up, and then I'll tighten that up in case I need to adjust my width of this to fit my top. All right here, there's supposed to be a set screw there, and you notice I don't have a set screw there. So mine is missing the little set screw. So I do have some out in my garage. I will get a set screw and I will put it in there. But if you do have one, take your little Allen wrench and screw it in to this plastic piece. So that is a set screw. Like I said, I'm sure this is a lot longer than what is needed, but I'm going to go ahead, and this is what I had out in my shop, that I'm going to tighten up just to help keep that in place. So just to give you an idea of what you're going to be looking for in tightening. All right, everybody, I just realized I missed a step. Don't forget to put on your feet onto the bottom of your legs there. You can remove that little blue film. That is just there to protect like the little chrome cap. So now go ahead and remove that little blue film and then screw these in to the bottom of your legs. And then after you do the bar and you have everything set up, you can see I have my top flipped over, and I have this flipped over again and sitting in here. So what I'm going to do next is get my tape measure out and center this desk up in my top. Now again, this is a used top, that's why you see these little areas broken out. But once I get it centered up, what I'm going to do next is pre-drill some holes in all these areas. Here, and then there'll be 4 here, 1, 2, and then you'll see a third one. There's a fourth one back there, and the same over here, right? You'll have 4 here, 2 in the middle, 4 more over there, so you'll have 10 screws holding your top to your desk. So that's the next thing we'll do, is let me center this up, pre-drill some holes, and then I'll screw in some screws to hold the top to the desk portion. And then also I'll make the connections for the wiring, and then screw in those as well. So all right, so you can see I've got my drill with the drill bit, small, and you can see I've got basically the screws with the Phillips head on it. I don't know, see if I can get it to focus. There we go. You can notice here I pre-drilled a couple of holes here and then screw these in. Obviously you want to make sure your top is thick enough to where you don't drill through your top. And then you've got the little bit here sticking through. So I got mine all centered up. I need to finish doing that one and then the 4 on the other side. And then we'll be all set to flip this desk over. Well, actually, then we'll be ready to mount up the electronics. The power cord and the little box for where I can. Mine has a memory, so I can set memory. Position 1, position 2, and then manually go up and down as well. So I need to mount that little plate for the memory. And then also mount the box here and the cords for the motor so I can plug it in and work it. So let me plug in these last 4 screws, put in these 4 screws there, that one there, pre-drill my holes, put in these screws, and then and then tighten these up as well, and then tighten that up once I get this all mounted up. And then I can, like I said, mount up these cables and stuff. All right, so the last little bit of things we need to do is to wire up the electrical portion of it. It's pretty straightforward. You'll see M1 here. You see that 6-pin connector. You'll see the motor connector is a 6-pin connector. So you'll just plug this into M1. All All right, so I'm going to mount the box, right in here. So it's got a short connection. This is your power. This is what you'll plug into the wall. You'll see DC. All right, that's your wall connector, so you can power it. And then mine, you can see here's my faceplate. So I have a 3-position save, as well as I can, manually adjust up and down as well. And then this is, like a phone jack style connector, or, so basically you'll plug that into HS. And then I'll mount this over there, so that way I can position it to raise and lower. So that is pretty much all that is left to do. And then I'll flip this over, read the directions, and before I power it up to make sure it works. So I'm going to go ahead and just screw these things in place and make the connections. All right, so I've got everything all hooked up and connected. So you can see, there's the power box with all the connections feeding into it. There is my control panel. I also put that in. I was debating about putting that in. That's kind of like a little tray. So I went ahead and undid my screws, slipped that in place so I wouldn't lose it, and then just put my screws back in place. They give you some of these little wire ties. This is sticky back here. You just peel that off. You can stick it on the bottom, and then you can basically zip tie your wiring up. So once I get this in place, I'll use a couple more of these, for my when I go to power the desk up. So now everything is assembled. It's ready to flip the desk over and to power it up for the first time. Make sure it raises and lowers. So let me get this thing set up. We'll flip this over, we'll plug it in and make sure it works okay. All right, so as you can see, I've got the desk flipped over. And basically, to raise it, and then I will say that is actually not, that noise is not objectionable at all. It's actually a pretty quiet motor. So I'm going to go ahead and wheel in here, kind of find my comfortable position that I want. I'll say right about here is a good comfortable position. And I'm going to hold the S button down. And 1. All right, so now that has saved my first position. So basically, if I go up, I can hit 1. And you can see it automatically lowers to where I had it. All right, so you can see, here is my new standing, sitting desk. Turned out pretty nice. I'm actually really happy with it. You can see, I've got a really nice colorful top to it. Worked out well getting, this old desk countertop is what they called it, is what they used it for. It's got a cool patina look to it, It gives it kind of a rustic look versus, just some black or white type of desktop. It gives me, something a little more custom and cool. I'm really happy with the sound quality of the motor. Actually, it was pretty quiet first couple uses. Went up and down nice and smooth without any problems. I did lose just a little bit of desk space, about 8 inches in length. But you can see, I've still got plenty of room, here to do work. So it's not a problem. It's nice that it's nice and deep as well. So I've got that extra space. So overall, I am actually really happy with how this turned out. So I hope this little instructional video helps you decide if you want to go with the VIVO desk. Now granted, I just assembled it and operated a couple times, but I'm pretty happy with it. Initial impressions, right? We'll see longer term how it works out. So with that said, please like and comment. If you have any questions, post them and I'll do my best to try to answer them. But anyway, like I said, I'll post the model number in the description, the one that I purchased. And just to give you guys an idea of cost, how much I have into this total, I think it was $212 for the frame assembly itself. And then it was another $35 plus tax for the top. And the $212, by the way, included tax. It was like $199, and with sales tax, it came out to be like $211 change, $212, something like that. $35 plus sales tax on top of that. So like what, $38, maybe $39. So about $260 in all. I was able to have a really nice desktop, as well as motorized and programmable. So not too shabby for that amount. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and you guys have a great day.